I'll have to pay taxes on my crypto asset profits soon. So I spend a lot of time trying to understand how to do it and what's the best and the most economical way to do it. Because, yeah, I'm trying to save money on my crypto tax. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the main information and the key points that I managed to find out, but at the end of the video, I'm also going to ask you some questions, the answers to which I still don't know. So if you have any idea or any answers to those questions, then please leave the answers in the comment section below this video and I'll really appreciate that. So now let's start. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anastasia. On this channel I talk about investing and especially investing for beginners. In today's video we will be talking about taxes and taxes on crypto assets in particular, and crypto assets taxes in the UK in particular. In the last year, I made quite a lot of profits out of my crypto assets investment, I suppose like a lot of people did. And as it's a new type of profit and it's a new type of an asset, it doesn't seem like the government has made a straightforward way of taxing this asset. And there are no products available at the moment that would allow you to get away from paying your tax, or at least to reduce your tax bill somehow. Some of the rules are very straightforward, and then some of them are very strange, that are very hard to understand. So that's why I'm making this video with the hope that it will clear up some questions for you, and maybe, and I really hope that it will, some people will watch this video, some people who are maybe a bit more knowledgeable than me on this subject, and they will give me some advice in return in the comments. I know several people who sold their crypto assets recently, then bought them back, then sold them again and bought back and never paid a penny of tax. And I don't think that's because they were trying to hide these profits, but that's probably because they didn't realize that they had to pay any tax on crypto on the first place, because cryptocurrency is not controlled by the government. Crypto is the decentralized currency, right? Or is it? Essentially, if there is any way or anything that makes you money, you're most probably taxed on it. And if you aren't, then most probably someone has already paid tax for you. Most of the time there are also some tax loopholes available for the majority of the products, like for example ISA accounts that give us tax-free ISA allowance, but you cannot include your crypto assets into your ISA, so that is not available at the moment. So are there any ways at all that will allow us to reduce our tax bill at the end of the year? This was the main question that I had in my head when I started to research the topic, and this is what I found. Well, the first thing that you have to pay when we talk about profits of your cryptocurrency assets is your capital gains. As a capital gain is a tax that you pay on the profit from your investments. Usually, if you invest through ISA, then the capital gains that you got from your ISA allowance are tax-free, so you don't pay any capital gains on them. But ISAs cannot include cryptocurrencies. But there is a tax-free capital gain allowance of £12,300 for each financial year that every UK resident can use. So in other words, if a year ago you invested £100 into Dogecoin, that today would be worth around £200,000. This is just an example, okay? So don't try to catch me on this one. I have no idea how much it would be worth in reality nowadays. So anyway, if, say, for example, it was worth £200,000 now, that means that you wouldn't have to pay tax on your initial investment, which is $100. What a saving! Plus your tax-free capital gain allowance of £12,300. You'd have to deduct these two sums off your £200,000, so that means that the total sum that you'd be taxed on is £187,600. Another very important thing that I have to mention is that this tax-free allowance covers all assets, not just cryptocurrency. So for example, if in this financial year you sold a house for a profit and you sold some crypto assets, you don't get £12,300 for each group of assets individually. No, this capital gain allowance you get for all assets and for all profits that you get in this particular financial year. So this is one way of how you can reduce your tax bill. Use your capital gain allowance of £12,300 in each financial year. other way is to gift your cryptocurrency to your spouse or your civil partner. Then you don't have to pay any tax on the crypto assets that you gifted. Plus, your partner or your wife or your husband, they also get this tax-free capital gain allowance of same £12,300 per financial year. In other words, if you have a partner that you live with, you together get almost £25,000 per year of capital gains tax-free. One important detail is if you want to gift your crypto assets to your parents or your children, your brothers or sisters, this is not allowed, and this gift will be taxed. In other words, get married, and the sooner the better. It saves you lots of money on taxes. Well, it will not save you lots of money on other things, but you can always get divorced. Okay, so up to now everything was pretty much straightforward, but from now on the really strange things begin. What does selling your crypto asset actually mean? Well, in my head, at the beginning, it meant that I sell my Bitcoin, for example, on Coinbase, and I withdraw the money, and I have to pay tax on this money that I've withdrawn. But that's not the case, because in the reality, every time you sell a coin, and even if you don't withdraw any money at all, but you reinvest this money straight away and buy another coin, you still have to pay capital gains, because by law, you have disposed of your crypto asset, and it doesn't matter what you did with this money afterwards, whether you withdrawn it and had cash in your hand or you reinvested it into another asset. No one will ask you that question. But the most ridiculous part for me is the records, because I'm supposed, apparently, to keep the record of every single cryptocurrency and every single transaction that I've made. And I'm supposed to do it all myself. You see, I've already shown you my profile on Coinbase. If you haven't seen this video, you can watch it by clicking this link here. But I have around $100,000 in it. And I never really looked at this profile and this investment as the investing method into different crypto coins. To me, they were all the same. Well, this is my crypto investing. I didn't think that I have this much money in Bitcoin, this much money in Ethereum, and this much money in every single coin. I have no idea how much I bought these coins for, because I was doing it for 4 or 5 years, and I never even thought of writing these things down, or I cannot think of any other way of how you can keep the record of absolutely every single transaction. But it is very important to do that, because my first thing that I mentioned about capital gains and your initial investment, it is not that straightforward when we think about investing into different crypto coins, and I'll explain how it works. Let's say I invested $10,000 or pounds, it doesn't really matter, into crypto assets. And for these £10,000, I bought several different coins. For example, I bought 2 Ethereums, 10 Litecoins, and 100 Dogecoins. It doesn't really matter. Now I decide to withdraw £5,000 because this is the sum that I need right now. Well, you'd think if I invested £10,000 originally, 5,000 is the part, is not even the full sum, but it's just a part of my initial investment, so it should be tax-free. Well, it's not that straightforward. If out of £10,000 of my initial investment, I invested 2,000 into Ethereum, that's now worth £20,000, and in order to get my £5,000, I decide to sell enough Ethereums to cover this sum, well, then I made a profit of £3,000. Initially, I invested only £2,000 into Ethereum, and now I took out £5,000. So that's the difference. £3,000 is what I would have to pay my tax on, unless it is still covered by my tax-free capital gain allowance. So it's not only the fact that I have to keep the record of how much I invested into each individual crypto coin, and then how much profit I made or how much loss I made. They also want me to think about the best way to sell crypto coins. I mean, which coins I have to sell, which coins I have to keep in order to reduce my tax bill. Am I correct? Because if I'm correct, I think this is ridiculous. And I really don't know how many people will actually do that, because I know a lot of people who don't even know what cryptocurrency is. And I'm sorry, but they invested into it just because they heard someone spoke about it, someone's grandchildren, someone's children told their old parents that this is what they're supposed to do. And these old people, retired people nowadays, they have no idea how to do it, and they have no idea whatsoever about different coins and what money they have, what they invested their money in their profiles. Do you know people like that? What are these people supposed to do now? That's my question number one. My question number two is, if I keep any crypto assets on my hard wallet, how will the government know how much money I keep there? Because how different is it to keeping your cash under your pillow, or in general making a cash payment to someone on the street? There is no way the government can know this unless they see or can track it somehow. So can they or can they not? And my last question is, if I withdraw my cash through a cryptocurrency ATM, I haven't seen any in England as such, but I know that these ATMs exist. They exist in Poland, they exist in Ukraine, maybe in some other countries as well. So what is the way? How does the government track those transactions? It's just me wondering. I'm okay for this financial year because of my capital gains and because I'm married. But for the future, I would like to know those answers. If you know how it works, then please let me know in the comment below this video. I guess that's all from my side today, guys. If you liked this video, then please click the like button below and also consider subscribing to my channel so that you don't miss my future videos. Thank you very much for your attention and time today. Bye bye.